you some sort of hexacan?
Welcome to the Worst Damn Crypto Show, period. I'm your host, Romanian Dan, and I got with me famous CryptoLearn.com guy and Frosty, but he just dipped. So what's up, man? How you doing?
Why did he
We're
dip?
late. I have no idea.
No, you really connection issues.
Yeah,
Well, we had
probably.
Frosty on.
Probably. In the meantime,
And no, leave that on. Just let
leave it
people
off.
enjoy it. Yeah, they waited for that.
Nobody's watching. We got zero.
I really
viewers.
liked. You have 0 views. That's a lot.
Oh, we got one person right now. Hold up.
Where's Frosty?
Sean. Welcome, Sean. You're the only one viewer. Let's go.
I'm all worried, bro. If there's 4.
I think because I switched the time, man, it really fucks with people. You know, you switch the time on them. We got Gav Kovlesar on your shit. He said it was hot.
What's hot?
I don't know. I pulled it up.
Gav LaSalle. Code LaSar. What's poppin'? I'm running up a Twizzy. Waiting for Frosty. About to get this fucking streaming. So, is there Frosty there?
Yeah, he's back. We can take Corey off. He doesn't need to see that. Apologies, Frosty. How are you?
Good, man.
Oh,
I got booted.
oh, really? It wasn't me. I think your connection or something, maybe.
Could be.
It happened earlier too. You dropped to like the green room for a second. Had to pull you back up.
David would kick you, bro. What the fuck's up? How's the weather?
Could be the same as every day. Freaking sunny, blue skies, and palm trees. Buddy. Never change.
When are you gonna adopt a monkey, man?
I don't know. I should. We got lots of peacocks around. Maybe I'll bring one of those in.
Peacock. I'd be down for a pet monkey, man. I'm not gonna lie.
That'd be awesome. If you had a monkey on your shoulder right now.
Yo, like just chilling. Like, yo, this is Pablo.
Gary. Someone
Actually,
was asking.
I'd call him Richard. I'd be like, hey, Richard, what's happening, Richard? Richie Rich? Anyways, I hope you guys like my attire. Trying to go Richie Rich.
Gav is asking what you're smoking on.
Classic. This shit. Enjoy. So, Foster, we were talking in the back. So we can get it on record now. You know, I told you, what is there to talk about? Wait, he left again.
Dude, something's wrong with his connection. Is the third time. He just like drops. Yeah, perfect. So Frosty, I pretend I'm Frosty. Go ahead.
No, let's wait. So everyone, little updates on the market. Let's go check it out. We are at. What did you do?
I didn't do anything. What do you mean?
No, that's my stupid screen. Okay, so we are at currently 2.75 cents for Hex. Wow. We are at almost 1.6 for Ethereum, and we're at 21,190. Wow. That's beautiful. That's crazy. Someone just bought back their position or something. That's crazy. Hola.
Hi, chicos.
Hello.
Buenos
Hola.
días. Buenos
Buenas
días.
tardes, buenas tardes.
Buenas
Not
tardes, buenas
afternoon.
tardes. Sí, sí, sí. En Portugal dice boa tarde.
Aquí decimos buenas tardes o hola, ¿cómo están?
Sí. ¿Dónde estás, Frosty?
No
Ah,
tienes
está
conexión.
enfrente. Está enfrente.
La conexión. No, no work this connection. Only my connection work now.
Pues hablar en español, yo comprendo.
Ah,
No
hola,
puedo hablar.
ok.
Soy
¿Cómo te
italiano.
llamas?
Me llama Crypto to Learn.
Oh, ya, yo me llamo
Sí.
Carla. No, la conexión de él no está funcionando ahorita. Aquí hay días en que el internet no está tan bueno, normal.
Muy bien.
Pero bueno,
muy
el resto
bien.
de El Salvador es hermoso. ¿Y tú? ¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Romanian Dan.
Where are you from?
Hola, ¿qué pasa? De Rumanía.
Oh, ok, ya me imaginaba Rumania.
Ok.
Es no
¿Y
me es
quién
de.
más está ahí? ¿Qué hay otra persona?
No te.
Cripto, Rumania.
That's it. It's just Motley and what's his name? Wendy's in the background.
It's a
Gotta be right
background.
back though. The baby's crying.
So how's everything with the?
Todos están
What?
ocupados.
Yeah, sí. Tú puedes
Uy, eso es
hablar en
imposible.
español, yo
Sí,
comprendo,
sí,
yo
sí.
comprendo.
Eso que estoy escuchando es imposible de ignorar. Esa criatura se va a tirar de esa cama ahorita, donde no le van a dar la teta.
I wish I could speak back, but I can't. I can't. I don't understand. I can't speak. Every time I speak Spanish, I speak Italian. So I can't. It's not the same.
Ah, ya,
You
ya,
wouldn't
ok,
understand.
ok.
You wouldn't understand. I'm just so used to it. It sounds so the same. It's
Ok.
mesma coisa.
Pero sí, sí, sí. No, pues son diferentes idiomas. Pero ¿de dónde eres tú? Where are you from?
Canadá.
Ah,
Con Frosty.
ya.
Con Frosty.
Ah, ok.
Frosty.
Yo soy
Frosty is.
ecuatoriana.
Oh,
Yo soy de Ecuador.
muy hermosa.
Pero viviendo en El Salvador.
Está en
Yo soy.
Salvador.
Sí,
Nice.
sí, estamos en El Salvador ahora. Estamos en El Salvador. That country is amazing. Este país es maravilloso. Cada día cambia, pero a pasos agigantados, así. Realmente estoy sorprendida. Realmente estoy sorprendida porque yo solamente veía las noticias, ¿no? De todas las cosas que estaban pasando y tú estás en otro lugar y tú piensas que todo es marketing o personas apoyando el plan político de este país, pero cuando ya tú llegas, tú ya te das cuenta que todo lo de las redes es verdad. No,
Tem muito,
él está
tem
diciendo
muito
que habla en
perso-
español. Ah, ok.
tem muito
Dice,
I understand. I understood everything. Tem muito pessoa que fa o cripto. Muito pessoa em El Salvador, ¿no?
a ver, everything person here use crypto for everything. You can
Of
pay
course.
todo. Es everything, así, everything. The bank, everything bank, accept crypto, everything person accept crypto, porque el archivo wallet, que es el app que creó to create el state del Salvador, es para que everything person. Ok, un momento. Everything person use crypto. Bitcoins.
Habla español, es mejor. Es
Ah,
mejor
ok,
en
ok.
español. Para
Ya,
toda
ok.
pessoa que vos ver, ¿no?
Sí, mira, aquí todo se puede pagar con cripto, es la
Sí,
verdad. Aquí
sí.
todo el mundo usa una aplicación que se llama Chivo Wallet, que fue creada, que el otro día le estaba comentando eso a Dave. La Chivo Wallet fue creada para cubrir una necesidad de un país completo, el tema de las remesas.
Ujú.
Porque hay mucha gente que vive en Estados Unidos. Aquí hay muchos migrantes que viven en Estados Unidos. Cuando empezó...
É muito fácil a utilizar?
¡Uf! Very easy. Sí, very. Es demasiado fácil.
Tá bom.
Cuando comenzó el
É
tema
bom
de
saber.
Yo te voy a decir la historia porque como yo hablo español, yo me comunico con todas las personas aquí y yo les pregunto todo. Pregunto, hago preguntas para saber. Entonces, aquí te voy a contar un poquito de la historia, es mi opinión personal. No me van a estar sacando en algún lugar y luego me van a meter en problemas.
Sí, sí.
La ACT fue creada para solventar la necesidad de las personas que vivían en el exterior, especialmente en Estados Unidos, y necesitaban mandar remesas de dinero a El Salvador. ¿Cuál es el beneficio? ¿Cuál es lo especial del archivo wallet? Que el archivo se conecta a todos los bancos de este país. Todo el sistema bancario de este país está conectado al archivo, que es la wallet con la que se maneja Bitcoin aquí en El Salvador. Entonces, eso es lo maravilloso, que cualquier wallet externa, de cualquier wallet, Strike, Trust, bueno, hay muchas wallets, ¿no? Entonces
Allora,
la conectan con Chivo.
Mucho
Sí.
persona trabaja per dinero e dinero es Bitcoin.
Sí,
E se
todo,
fa
todo.
pagar
Sí.
in Bitcoin o dinero?
No, tú pagas en Bitcoin porque everything person use la wallet y
Yeah.
te generan el código, el QR, y tú ya transfieres el dinero y tú transfieres el Bitcoin. ¿Qué hace la persona aquí en El Salvador? Lo cambia a dólares y lo mueve a su cuenta bancaria y lo saca por el cajero automático, el ATM.
Maravilloso.
Exactamente. Entonces aquí no hay problema para nada.
Es muy bien de saber porque no personas del mundo sabes que funciona muy bien.
Exactamente. Nadie sabe cómo funciona el archivo, pero el secreto del archivo es que está conectada al sistema bancario de este país. Tú tienes, lo único es que solamente está para los ciudadanos salvadoreños. O sea, yo no tengo chivo porque yo no soy salvadoreña. Necesito ser residente salvadoreña, tener el DUI, que es el número de residencia de este país, y con eso ya lo puedo crear. No está hecha para personas que viven fuera de este país, es para personas de El Salvador. Y tienes que tener una cuenta bancaria. Entonces así es fácil. Tú transfieres el Bitcoin al archivo wallet y tú lo transfieres a tu cuenta en el banco y ya tienes los dólares. Si no quieres en dólares, solamente usas el archivo y empiezas a pagar todo con Bitcoin. Porque en todos los lugares aceptan Bitcoin. Aparte que es una ley. La ley de aquí en El Salvador es que el Bitcoin es una moneda oficial y por ser moneda oficial todas las personas están en la obligación de aceptarla. O sea, yo siempre peleo con eso con las personas. En este país el Bitcoin es una moneda oficial y usted tiene que aceptarla, tiene que buscar la forma de aceptarme el pago en Bitcoin. Y cuando ya les digo eso, todo el mundo lo resuelve.
Wow.
Sí.
Wow.
Entonces es súper fácil. Y además aquí todas las personas que están a mi alrededor, yo ya les he dicho a todos que empiezan a activar el archivo. Sí, el archivo tiene sus problemas, no funciona, a veces no es segura, normal. Así como cuando algo está comenzando, obviamente tiene errores, normal, ¿no?
Es fácil de
Pero
utilizar para niños. Para pequeños niños.
yo te voy a tomar un video mañana es facilito, es lo más, o sea, es una cosa que solo haces un clic y ya tienes transferido el dinero. Es así, es fácil de usar y está en inglés y en español. Tiene los dos idiomas, inglés y español. Es súper fácil, así. Es una cosa que yo me quedé sorprendida, la facilidad con la que se movían las cosas. Incluso le decía el otro día a una persona con la que hablo siempre, le decía, tú no te imaginas la bendición que es poder operar con eso en este país. La gente no tiene educación en ese tema normal, porque imagínate, este país hace 3 años atrás era un mierdero, ahorita es una maravilla. Entonces hay personas que como que todavía no están empapadas como de lo grande que está pasando ahora mismo. Y lo ven como algo normal, pero si tú vieras las noticias internacionales, si ustedes escucharan las noticias internacionales que yo leo todos los días, ustedes dirían, oh, wow, estoy viviendo en El Salvador, soy salvadoreño y es maravilloso. Wow. Pero es normal, por eso siempre también le digo a las personas, es normal por todas las cosas tristes y por la delincuencia, las mafias y todo lo que había en este país antes, ¿no? Antes del presidente Nayib Bukele. Entonces es así como que normal que todo toma tiempo.
¿Cuánto tiempo tiene tienes per fare. Fuck, I can't even say.
Sí te
How do you say
entiendo.
that?
Tengo
How
2
long does it
meses
take for
aquí.
a transaction to take? Like, let's say you go and you buy something. How long does it take?
30 minutos, 30 minutes o less de 30 minutes. No es más. Y ya está todo listo. Y es así como te digo, es así, o sea, 30 minutos no sé si será un good time para una transacción en Bitcoin, pero es lo que aquí se toma el archivo wallet en lo que tú la mandas, en que lo recibes el dinero, la otra persona lo verifica, se tarda, pero más de 30 minutos no es. Es un lapso entre 20 o 30 minutos, 15, 30 minutos. Eso ya es suficiente.
No más Bitcoin. You see? I understand.
If you're on the Lightning Network, it's rápido.
Sí. Ok.
But that's what she said, right? She said if you're on the Shiva's wallet, the Shiva's wallet, I probably. Tell him, is his phone working? O telemóvel funciona.
Todos los teléfonos, mejor dicho, todos los ciudadanos salvadoreños, ya, esa es otra historia. ¿Por qué
Tem
todas las
Binance,
personas?
tem Binance, Crypto.com.
Sí,
No.
sí puedes usarla, pero tú tienes que transferir de Other Wallet a Chivo. ¿Entiendes?
Where's Dan? Where's Dan? Dan needs to
Mira,
get.
aquí son 2 wallets.
Sí.
La more use por las personas es Chivo y la otra es Strike. Eso no lo estoy diciendo bien. Exactamente. Es la Strike, es la wallet que usan en el State de la Libertad, donde está todo, donde está la Bitcoin Beach, la Bitcoin Beach y sí, Bitcoin Beach, la Bitcoin Beach, es allá. Sí, esas son las dos. Esa es otra historia. El gobierno le dio un bono a las personas de $30 en Bitcoin. El gobierno le dio un bono a las personas de $30 en Bitcoin.
Tem Bitcoin em outro país, Brasil, já sabes, em Argentina, tem muito per coffee, café Binance, tem muito.
Bien.
En Argentina.
Aquí también, aquí todo.
It's gonna start. I believe it's gonna start. They want to. It makes sense because it's gonna help everything for them.
Aquí el gobierno salvadoreño le dio a las personas un bono en Bitcoin free. Sí, cada persona cuando descargaba la aplicación, el chivo le llegaba un bono de $30. Bueno, le llegaba el bono en Bitcoin y todas las personas lo cambiaron a dólares. Entonces, por eso fue que la aplicación creo que tuvo tal vez unas 10 millones de descargas. De eso no estoy tan segura porque no sé cuántas personas, pero ese fue el primer paso, así como que todas las personas iban a recibir un bono en la pandemia, en el año 2020, cuando nadie tenía trabajo, cuando todas las personas estaban confinadas, y entonces el gobierno les da el bono y todas las personas que viven aquí en El Salvador descargaron la aplicación para poder tomar los $30. Pues se los dieron en Bitcoin, pero la gente los cambió a dólares y los usaban en los cajeros automáticos. Entonces ahí ya eso fue como que el primer paso para lograr que todo el mundo pues empezara a usar la Chivo. Porque eso te llegaba en Archivo, que es la aplicación que usan aquí en El Salvador.
Fuck. It's wild. What's up?
What's up, Walrus? Oh, I think there's a bit of feedback. No?
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
He speaks.
Bien. Nice to meet you, Carla.
What's up,
You as
Walrus?
well.
I wanted to tell you I like that setup. I really do.
I appreciate it, man. This is not what I do. I'm embarrassed at how long it took me to set up.
Oh, you look like a football coach, man.
Yo estoy contando la
historia
del Bitcoin en El Salvador. La historia del Bitcoin en El Salvador. Bueno, es mi opinión y mi apreciación. No me van a meter en
What happened
problemas.
to Frosty? He's what he yelled.
Ya, aquí está. Oh.
Yo, my bad.
I
got
understand
back.
everything.
I
I
had to watch the
understand
video.
everything she says. I just can't speak back because I get confused and I start speaking in Portuguese. Actually, because I'm really speaking in Portuguese lately, or I just speak in Italian. But I don't really want to speak in Italian because it's a bit whatever. She won't understand, so it'd be useless. But Portuguese, she'll understand maybe. But it's hard for me to speak in Spanish, man. It's some fucked up words, a lot of conjugation. But yeah, man. Yo, Walrus, thanks for coming on. Is this the first time Walrus is on? I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on the worst damn crypto show ever, bro.
Of
It's
course,
not
man.
so bad.
So
Wow.
you can do whatever you want. If you want a stogie, you can have a stogie. You can do whatever you want, man.
Yeah, I got him sitting here next to me. I don't think I got my cutter close.
We don't monetize, so you can smoke all you want, man. You can do
There's the man.
whatever you do, whatever you
Oh,
want. Man.
Walrus, how are you doing, buddy?
What's up, brother?
Good, man. I love your tweet today in that video, man. You hit the nail right on the head, brother. Nail right on the head.
Yeah, it's wildly being underappreciated. Just all the market dynamics going on down there. Just one, even from the legacy side, seeing those economies grow. But that is like that's where crypto is actually being crypto. Like we can pretend up here in the West when we're all just basically treating them as commodities, but down there, those guys are actually using them as currencies. It's pretty interesting. I've been digging deep on that rabbit hole.
That's what I mean. I've been trying to say that. Like, I got businesses in South Africa, and I've been seeing this emerge for a while. And I said earlier, the famous is like, there's decades that go by that nothing happens, and weeks go by that freaking decades happen. And it seems like right now that decades are going by in weeks and months, because this rate of adoption that people are using this in as a medium of exchange is exploding. It's exploding. It's like, I've been in crypto for a long time, and nothing's happened for freaking years, man. And all of a sudden now, in the last 6 to 8 months, all kinds of laws and regulations are coming out. They just passed a law the other day in El Salvador for the security to sell $1 billion in Bitcoin bonds here.
Volcano bonds.
Volcano bonds. So it's $100,000 each. That's $10,000. You're gonna raise $1 billion for this time. Like, $1 billion in US is nothing, but $1 billion in the size of the freaking El Salvador is a ton of money. Like, this country is like the size of a small city. Like, you can drive from one end of this country to the other in like 6 hours. It's not big. So $1 billion, and the low valuation of how far a dollar goes here, it's going to be insane. It's just the whole world around the United States and the G7 countries around them. You exclude them because really there's not a lot of rate of adoption. But outside of that, in the high millennial, Gen Z, Gen X locations, it's a game changer, man. It's the medium of exchange narrative is happening. I see it happening.
This is something that was wild. Do you know where the most peer-to-peer Bitcoin transactions happen? Sub-Saharan Africa.
Exactly. And like Nigeria, in the middle of nowhere, Kenya, freaking all of them. Like, nobody has a clue. Everybody thinks it's like, oh, well, where's all that money? Where's all that going to come from? But like, people have no idea. They basically bypass all the infrastructure and go right into the 21st century by giving them instant access to bank accounts, identity, a driver's license. And, you can spool up an economy really quick in that type of environment.
Well, and there's two things to bring up to that point that I think are important in Africa. One is we always look at the finance side of their infrastructure, but they just don't have infrastructure at all. So they have issues just even transportation around these things. So even just like getting to a MoneyGram or a money transmitter, any variation, that's difficult enough, even if you could have one. So they have a huge amount of issues about just infrastructure that are completely bypassed by going to mobile money. And Kenya was one of the first ones to do this. They did the M-Pesa, and I guess Pesa, it's money or dollar or currency in Swahili. This was like in 2007. So most of these places were on the mobile money way before the rest of the world was on that wave. And like, to your point, there's a couple other examples. Is we see this with like Betamax. There's all these technologies where they're sort of competing, and they are a great tech, but they just get passed. So like you said, you can bypass a ton of traditional infrastructure by just catching them up and using these things peer to peer. And those are economies. There's a ton of resources. Again, as the world gets smaller, supply lines get more and more efficient. Africa is like the next wave. It's what's growing. The Southeast Asia with Singapore and Malaysia and all those places was big. Like, Africa is going to be where it's at, and they're clearly adopting these things.
Yeah, so you combine that in with the Belt and Road, the One Belt, One Road initiative. You got direct line transportation access to a lot of that. They're building one of the largest power grids on the planet. You see the size of the dam that's being built in Ethiopia. There's a supply power grid all the way up to Egypt. Like, it's massive. You start adding power to these remote areas with an infrastructure line, which I have to double check. I haven't checked in a while. But that dam's got to be damn near ready to be done, and bringing power lines all the way up there. Man, that changes the whole game. That changes the whole game fast. And the population size, people completely underestimate. Like, I'm bullish as hell on Africa, and I've been pounding the fists on this for a long time.
It's
Anybody
crazy.
that actually listens to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a chance to go visit here in a couple of months. My best friend, he's Egyptian, so that's where they're gonna have the wedding. So we're gonna be out there. I'm gonna try to catch a few things to and from, but yeah, I'm gonna spend at least a better part of a month out there and get a chance to check some things out.
Right?
Yeah, man. Africa is a beautiful country, very beautiful. Everybody thinks it's just deserts and nothing out there, but it's an amazing, beautiful
Bro, it's
country.
huge. Bro, Africa's huge. Of course there's deserts, man.
Forests, the freaking the wildlife. It is a stunning, gorgeous continent that nobody
And it's
even
surrounded by beautifulness. That's the thing that's like
gorgeous.
it's gonna become, man. Maybe we'll be alive to see it, maybe we won't, but
I'm
Yeah,
there. I'm there.
there's so many places in Africa that are overrated. Like, man, Nigerian and Ethiopian, that's some of my favorite cuisine, man. I love that food. Ethiopia is one of like the oldest cultures that like brews beer. Ethiopian beer is insanely good. They have great grain, good water, and that's what it takes to make good beer out there. So like if you're into that side of those things, like there's
really
so many underrated aspects to African culture that have nothing to do with even the elements that we get here in the West. Like Africa's an amazing place. There's just diversity, like I said, culture, food, even alcohol, all that good stuff. And if you're like, look at the north coast of Africa, people, I showed you the Egyptian coast, you're just picturing like the Nile and sand. The north part of Egypt looks like Greece. I mean, it's beautiful.
I don't know.
I know we're going to get called out for Bitcoin maxis on this, but the reality is Bitcoin's still leading the market. You know what I mean? Yep. So if you want to see what's happening in the future, you can't look at all these other small coins, because the reality is, in the real world, boots on the ground, Bitcoin's leading the charge with all these regulations, rules, everything else, government policies. And you see that the knock-on effects, like there's always been a downstream effect. Whatever happens to Bitcoin happens to the rest of the industry, right? So I think people are completely missing what's actually happening in the Bitcoin world. You know what I mean? Because they're just like, oh, I hear on these spaces all the time and on these YouTube videos or whatever, nothing's going on in Bitcoin. Nothing's going on in Bitcoin. But that's not true at all, man. That is not true at all. Bitcoin is making leaps and bounds in its rules, its policies, its regulations, its laws, its security laws, its payment structures, Lightning Network. Lightning Network has come on, like, man, I can't even explain how far the Lightning Network's come, like, in the last year. Like, it's absolutely insane. And I think people are too busy chirping about this other cryptos, and they're going to miss out some of the biggest opportunities in the entire ecosystems ever freaking seen, because there's been many years where a lot of this has been in a very tight, small community, a bunch of developers, very close net. In the grand scheme of things, the crypto industry people, there's not very many of them. Let's be real. You know what I mean? In the grand scheme of business. But now that's starting to break out, and it's starting to break out through the utility of convenience, in my opinion, through the medium of exchange and the ease of apps and dApps and everything that's coming out. And I think it's a game changer. It's a game changer for the whole industry, and that will have knock-on effects for the rest of the crypto industry. That's the point I'm trying to get. You know what I mean? I think everybody's looking right when they should be looking left. You know, does that make sense?
But if you look at that, then you have to look at the fact that, like, well, then you tell me what other ecosystem is connected to Bitcoin that much?
All of them are. They all are.
Not that much compared to ETH. So that's why the way I look at it, like, okay, well, if Bitcoin's undervalued to that extent, well, then we're looking at least where we're at points. We're at 7.6%. I think we're underrated until like
I think 29% of millennials.
No, we're at 7.6. I follow it. So ETH to BTC is at 7.6%. So you have a 7.6. It's the ratio is at 0.07. I think it's going to go at least to put the 15%, because that's when you look at it and say, okay, due to like whatever, how hard it has to be, they're both the same. That's like the point where, like, yeah, because right now, I don't know what it is, but I don't understand why the world can't understand that they both need to live together. I really don't understand.
So
there's no other point.
my thing with BTC is one of my favorite things that RH ever said was that you can be technically right and price wrong. I think with BTC, when you hear some people knock it, I think you can be price right and adoption wrong with that narrative. So I agree. And so I do think that obviously all those types of narratives that, hey, it's big, it's hard to move, it's not going to have the same absurd upside that you can get in altcoins or new layer ones or all the cool stuff that we're doing in the ecosystem from like $1 go up. But I think we get caught up in that narrative. We underestimate what. So speaking of football, coach, another one of those things Bill Belichick says, and it's partly why he's so famous for team building. Don't tell me what a player can do, or sorry, don't tell me what a player can't do. Tell me what it can do. So with BTC, yeah, it's not going to give you 100x. Yeah, it's not going to give you these absurd upsides, but it can connect me to half the world with its infrastructure. So I think there's a lot of benefit in looking at how jurisdictions are treating it, how we can get to that infrastructure and piggybacking off those things. And again, making people understand crypto is hard, but getting them to just understand Bitcoin is a lot simpler task. And then we can figure out how to use that.
Yeah, I think you're amazing on that. You know what I mean? Especially you as a developer, like you talked about creating that bridge to tap into that existing Bitcoin infrastructure. That is the most brilliant, smartest thing I've heard in probably the last 3 years. You know what I mean? True.
We got devs for that. That's not me. That's all the people building PulseChain and a lot of this cool stuff. But the atomic swaps, like cross chain swaps, this stuff's getting, it's still precarious in some ways. It's not easy if you're outside of crypto, but I think that's kind of the point, right? Like, just get these people to figure out BTC. I'll figure out the complicated stuff, right? Like I'm the one who's living the bankless life and wanting to be crypto everything and do smart contracts and all this stuff. Okay, well, cool. If I can get you guys to just take one ticker symbol, just understand one ticker symbol, set up one wallet, I'll figure out how to get there and pay for it. So yeah, I think we can do a lot to merge those worlds and again use all that infrastructure. Like if I go to El Salvador, it's a lot easier for me to get to BTC than for El Salvador to get to all my coins.
Guaranteed. And that's exactly what's happening. You know what I mean? It's an easy swap. There's many dexes out there. You can just swap from any coin right into BTC. You know what I mean? Including Ethereum products. You can go right from Ethereum products right into Bitcoin, right into your bank. You know what I mean? And that convenient utility is unbelievable. There's no KYC, there's no nothing, and it's all decentralized. That's the world that which everybody's been preaching for years. And the fact that it's actually starting to happen in reality, it to me is mind-blowing. When you can see these things happen in real time in front of you, it's mind-blowing. I think most people are missing that part. Like I
agree. I agree.
don't.
But I really think that ETH is really undervalued.
Two different cases.
So.
And
I really think so, because if it's that connected, because it is that connected right now. If you go look at all the stuff that how everything's connected, ETH is more connected to itself than the whole system in liquidity, right? Because they're DAI. And then you have wrapped Bitcoin that has a massive liquidity lately. For some reason, it's just holding itself out and it's very liquid. You could fucking swap 5,000 Bitcoin and do something with it. And not.
So I think some of that is part of the problem is that because crypto is so like a leveraged effect on macro and it doesn't sort of have its own contingencies and ecosystem, is like, let's say you're, like disconnected by some of these ratios. Well, if XYZ event basically just wrecks the market, even if you're semi decorrelated from Bitcoin, it's like you go down 50% versus 70, you go up, like, so even when they're decorrelated in the liquidity pools, there's still just so much commonality in what makes them drivers on the outside, that they're decoupled from each other, but they're not decoupled from the events that drive the price.
But they're lately going, they're continuing. It's like in my opinion, it always worked when they worked together. Like every time they did stuff in coherence, it was just good. I don't know how to explain it. Every time it just doesn't make sense because it completes itself. In my opinion, Frosty, it completes itself. But there's missing a part. There's missing one part to it.
Correlated, it's correlated.
But regardless of the correlation, you just have to have it's all coins. It's all like ratio. It's just a ratio. So like, what do you think forever the ratio is gonna go? It's gonna stay as a flat line? I don't think so. But I don't think that it's gonna stay at 8%. I don't think one ETH is like, you know what I mean? Like it's 8% of a fucking Bitcoin. It's going to definitely go up, because if Bitcoin becomes that rare, well, then ETH is going to get even more rare, man. Like, you have to understand that. Like,
but I think
it's going to break. I do. I understand your point, but I'm saying like we need to make it work. They
No, but
both
people
need to work.
valuation, a valuation, because people only think in a singularity. This to dollars, house to dollars, gold to
Yeah.
dollars, this to dollar. Your reference point is always a single-sided ratio. Everybody's always only relating that asset to freaking dollars. Okay, well, you can go, there's a gold housing market, there's a silver housing market, there's a property market, there's a million ratios out there, but for some people they only get stuck in looking at one single ratio, Bitcoin to dollars, this or whatever. But okay, so let's look at you
But I
take
never
away.
said that. I'm only looking at ratios because it's easier to acquire one ETH than it is to get one Bitcoin.
Okay, well, let's look at things from a
It's
different
gonna get more
perspective
centralized.
of ratios. Then how about you take the gold ratio to the price of goods and services? Okay, so if you take the gold ratio to the price of goods and services, you'll see it's almost a flat line. Nothing's changed. So the same price that you bought a house for in ounces of gold before, right? It's a flat line. So what's the difference then? So if you take the to purchase a tomato, what it was like 100 years ago, and the price of to buy a tomato today, and the relationship ratio to the price of gold, it's the same. It's a flat line. Why is that? So what's the difference then? It's the
Why is it a flat line?
devaluation of the dollar, and it clearly marks how much the devaluation of the dollar has gone through in the last 100 years, right? So that people need, like, people don't understand currencies. There isn't a fiat currency in the history of mankind that hasn't gone to zero, right? And at the end of the day, in all reality, we have to be careful with crypto a little bit because it's still technically a credit. It's not technically real money. You know what I mean? But this is the part I'm trying to get around. For the first time in history, like, even if you go into law, like real law, fucking dollars is not real money. It's a credit, right? If you go back to the 1500th century, real money, silver, gold, and copper. It always has been. It always has been. So it's dollars, or a fiat currency, is only classified as credit. And
Promissory notes.
Promissory notes, exactly. So in the definition of law, it's a credit. But for the first time in many, probably hundreds of years, they've actually written a law that says it is money and it is accepted as a medium of exchange. And that happened in El Salvador. And I think that's the part that people fucking missed. And I even posted it at the top. You know what I mean? So when's the last time, not even the US dollar is classified as money? It's classified as a credit. So when's the last time a central bank has reallocated a new something as money? Wait a minute here. That's huge. But I don't think anybody in the ecosystems picked up on that. You don't need to take my word for it. Do it. Money is not real money. It's a credit, and it's very different.
It's also interesting what happens to every country who tries to. They always end up needing a little freedom, don't they?
Right? Exactly. So, from a history point of view, anybody that understands history, like I'm a history, I love freaking history. And when you read these things, yeah, huge things are changing. And everybody's like, nothing's changing. It's just crypto, world's going on. I'm like, you start peeling back the layers of the onion. That's not true. That's not true at all. Big things are happening. It's just very few people are paying attention. And the ones that do, to me, it's the opportunity of freaking the last couple 100 years. You know what I mean? This is the biggest opportunity in hundreds of years. It'll be the largest wealth transfer in hundreds of years. It's crazy. And if you look at the average median age of Africa, it's between 18 and 25. It's got the youngest population on the entire history of the world. 1.1 billion people. They're like, basically, majority of them are unbanked, untapped, unresources. Same with Latin America and Central America. The sheer volume of velocity of money that's entagged here is mind-blowing. And I think, and everybody's like, oh, the United States, freaking Europe, Canada. Okay, let's add up United States, let's add up Canada, let's add up Europe, let's add up all the G7 or G20 countries and add up all their populations. They add up to nothing compared to just Africa, Latin America, and China. You know what I mean? Like it's
It's going to be a repeat of
But-
Southeast Asia. All those countries were just specks on the wall, nothing. They were just big populations and resources that were untapped. Then you see Singapore and all these places just explode. It'd
Well,
be the
that's
same
my-
thing happening in Africa.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And so we look at it, the two most resource rich continents on the planet are freaking Africa and Latin America. So if you go back in history, throughout history, every time there's been a problem, they've always come to Africa and Latin America to exploit its resources. So if you're running into a currency problem, which we may be, right? So if we're running into a currency problem, are you better to speculate on the currency that may be the dominating factor? Or throughout history, if you own the commodities, if you own the resources, those resources and commodities will always require a medium of exchange to trade for. So regardless of whatever the new money becomes, whether that's Bitcoin, yuan, a combination, a basket of currencies, whatever, you know what I mean? Because they can all be speculated on which way they're going to go down. But the one thing you can't speculate on is if you own the land that owns the resources and you own the title to that, because there's many countries that you have land titles to, like Canada, there is no legal right to land. So it has tons of commodities, tons of natural resources, but it's still owned by the British Crown. It's been like that since the 15th century. So you really got to do your homework. Or if you can own a legal title where you can buy 100 acres, 200 acres for 50K, and you own all the natural resource and mineral rights on that, okay. So then when the medium of exchange finally does go, what's the one thing that's always happens? You have a commodity super cycle. And those commodities are always exchangeable for the new medium of exchange. So if you want to hedge against your changing of the dollar and you're unfamiliar with what that dollar is going to be, wouldn't you be better than trying to speculate on what it's going to be and then and purchase the one thing that's a consistent stable throughout all of the history of mankind on the planet, and that's natural resources and commodities? Because you know what? No matter what the medium of exchange is going to be, that piece of lumber is still going to be required. That tomato is still going to be required. That fresh water is still going to be required. You know what I mean? And no matter what the medium of exchange comes, that's where you will find your wealth transfer. You know? So I think people are thinking about things a little bit differently. And, you know, the very positive actions of legal things happening around Bitcoin, you know, between Bitcoin, technology, and natural resources hedges, you will be able to put yourself in a position to ride out that no matter what. And there's no better places to go to Africa, one of the most resource richest places in the world, where you can actually own property and buy hundreds of acres for like next to nothing, right? And be part of some of the largest natural resource places. Same in Latin America. You can buy hundreds of acres for 40K, 50K, 100K, hundreds. And you legally own those natural resources. So if you own natural resources on two of the largest continents, surrounded by two of the largest, youngest generations in the history of mankind that's ever fucking existed on the planet, which is the millennials and Gen Zs, when have they ever taken out the large young population? No, because they know that they still need people. People are the common denominator, and demographics have always been it, right? So those are your opportunities. And then I think with the formation of a digital asset where they're creating legal structure that are actually some countries are classifying as legal tender, yeah, that's a game changer. That's a fucking massive fucking game changer. And this is what we all been talking about, in my opinion. In my opinion, the bill that just got passed the other day is exactly what the entire crypto industry has been asking for the last 14 years. And it's finally here. And everybody's just ignoring it. And it's like, what the hell? Everybody's talking the same narrative for 14 years. And finally, it's here. And it's happening, boots on the ground. And people are like, they're still bitching and chewing about fucking garbage. I don't get it.
Those places are also the places where we don't adequately represent that like lower barrier of entry. So to get onto a bank for us, like I said, we get in, we use these wallets. We already had access to banks, so it's like an alternative. But those incremental changes and being able to get people onto software, to get people into units of exchange, to get people to these services are massive because the barrier is so much higher to the natural side, right? And it's the same thing with these places that take on higher sanctions risk. So any of these places, that's the reason I brought up Ethiopia, because it's either the IMF or the World Bank. I get them confused. I mean, two hands of the same beast.
Exactly.
They're wanting to extend a credit line, and they want Ethiopia to devalue the national currency by like 50%.
Yeah, think about it.
Well, the currencies are going to
savings of their
happen.
people.
The currencies is going to, I feel like it's happening soon. Like the hyperinflation is going to be a thing because of the advancement of the need for technology. I feel like every one of those countries are developing so early, and there's so many new ways, but they can't utilize it compared to us. And us, we're like lingering. And then you have the whole world that's just waiting to like boom technologically. And I just feel like you're so right, Frosty. I want to continue listening to you. I'm just like, wow, he's so right.
Rate of adoption.
But that's why I'm saying it's better. The ratios is all that's worth it, because it's all about the ratios, because it's never about what it's worth, right? Like you said, everyone looks at it at the dollars, but the dollars is just there because that's what it equates to, right? That's the simple mathematics. But the complicated one is the ratios, and that's why I think that yes, Bitcoin is going to be awesome, but only to an extent.
Well,
that's what gives it its power, is that it gives, like you said, the ability, like no one's like, it's amazing, but yet it's gonna boost all of us because of that.
No,
so it only has that. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
People don't have a fucking bed. They don't have running fucking water. They don't have hydro.
I understand that.
They literally chop the head off a chicken and it goes on the freaking no stove, like a fire, like a fucking real fire. I'm gonna post you pictures of a real fucking life. They don't have any of this fucking infrastructure, but you could pay for that fucking meal they make out of Bitcoin. What? Wait a minute. Think about this for a fucking one red second. You don't have hydro to your house. You don't have running water to your house. You don't have a traditional fucking bed. Your stove is literally over a fucking bonfire in a pot of fucking water. But you'll accept Bitcoin? Like, you know, like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, this, like, am I the only one that's like, that's fucking mind blowing?
I'm in Austin and I can't buy shit with Bitcoin.
Right? So you can walk into these places like where they don't have nothing. I think people underestimate when I mean nothing. I mean nothing. Like most of the people that are watching this stream would never live like this, right? They would never live like this.
No, that I understand. I completely understand. But what I'm saying is, in the larger scale of things, if let's say it does get adopted, let's say everyone does say, okay, kumbaya, let's go.
But wait, people have
I'm
never
just
gone
saying, there's only 21 million of it, apparently.
College. They're never gonna. Why are they adopting it? Because they don't understand the technology. They couldn't explain blockchain if their life depended on it. They couldn't explain nothing. They've never gone to a college. They've never gone to high school. They've never gone to public school. They've never gone to university. You know what they know how to do? Fucking kill chickens, grow freaking tomatoes, and catch fish in the ocean. That's what they know. But you know why they're adopting it? This is a part I think people are missing from a human psychology point of view. Why are these people adopting it? Convenience. Because it's another easy way to accept payment. And they don't care. If they can accept money to make their lives better, then if that's the way, if it's Bitcoin, then that's what they'll take. But it's not like they're adopting it because, oh, we understand the tech, we believe in the tech, we believe in this. No, they're solely adopting it out of a convenience factor, out of fucking necessity. You know what I mean? So wait a minute here. That's a whole completely different fucking narrative that then people preach regarding the normal adoption curve of crypto. Because it's not reality. People are like, I'm in it for the tech. I'm in it for this. I'm in it for that. And that's the narrative you're talking to right now. Oh, because Ethereum has better use cases. Doesn't matter. They're clearly adopting. They couldn't tell you the difference between Ethereum and fucking Bitcoin if their life depended on it. You know what they know? I can fucking go to the grocery store and I can buy shit with it. That's what they know. That's all they know. And that's all they care about. So that adoption curve is the complete opposite than the narrative on the street. Complete opposite.
Yeah, we've talked about that. I think Famous has heard me. You probably said the same, that all the libertarian, self-sovereignty, censorship-resistant people, they're already here. Like that narrative for growth is gone. You got to go bring
Gone.
everybody else, man.
Gone.
And if you want to be a industry disruptor, that's what it has to be. It can't be good. It can't be interesting. It has to be better. So for like I said, where those people are at that level where it is so much better than any possible financial structures they have, that's why it has such a penetration in those areas. And that's what it takes for all these things. Like obviously it's a different relationship there when they have basically no services. They just have goods and they're trying to find a way to interact. But even in Western worlds, we have to figure out ways to make this stuff better. All the people who care about self-sovereignty and censorship resistance and are early adopters, we got all them. You got to go get somebody else now.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But the interesting thing is, I never thought I'd actually see this day in this industry. You know what I mean? Like I've heard about it. We've talked about it for years and years and years. And, you know, it seemed like a monumental task, you know, back in the day talking about these things and end up getting to the point where we are now. But to put boots on the ground and literally walk into a place with no bed, no lights, no running water, no nothing, and buy a fucking chicken with Bitcoin, man, that's reality, man. That's an adoption I didn't think I'd see in my lifetime, where it was like, that's an eye opener, man. And then you go to Africa, like you said, you go to these African places where they got nothing and they have no technology, they have no access to nothing, no identity, they don't have property, and they'll transact in Bitcoin for an apple, man, for like fractions of a cent on the Lightning Network. And it's like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, I think people need to see it with their own eyes. And when they do, and you actually see it happening in real world, it's happening. That medium of exchange narrative is happening. And I think we should celebrate this. I don't know why people are upset about it or call it Bitcoin maxis or whatever, or however you want to look at it. But the reality is it's happening, and it's happened in a time frame. And if you look at history, in 14 years, it just turned 14 years old this year, man, or like a few months ago. It's like in 14 years, we've literally gone from like basically nobody understanding it. Nobody had a clue what it was. It was extremely complicated to download a Bitcoin wallet back in the day, or even be involved in this. It was like very, very difficult. And now you can walk into a place on the places of the world where they don't understand technology at all. They've never taken a tech course in their life, but they're using it as a medium of exchange. That rate of adoption, that rate of change is nothing but exponential. And if we keep going on this rate of exponential, it's going to adopt faster than I think people expect it to. And why I say that is because they're literally about to launch $1 billion worth of Bitcoin bonds here. $1 billion. 10,000 people at $100,000. That's $1 billion. Out of that $1 billion, they're going to start creating Bitcoin City, which they're going to employ all the people to work there to be paid in Bitcoin, which is going to, and then out of those 10,000 people that can actually afford to send $100,000 they get a free residency with this, which means generally they're probably coming here with money. So there's basically, and if they come here with an average of 2 people, for argument's sake, maybe, so you're looking at roughly 20,000 rich people coming here that are rich in crypto. $1 billion coming to this country. Well, you want to see the rate take off? Because if you go and you start asking all these people to be like, hey, do you want to work, but you're going to get paid in Bitcoin? What do you think the chances of that are being rate of adopted are? I bet you by the end of fucking 2023, 2024, this whole fucking country will be on fucking Bitcoin.
It's amazing, man.
You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. I appreciate the invite, boys. I got to jump off, but it was good to jump on here, man. I appreciate the invitation.
Yo, thank
Yeah,
you,
man.
Walrus, man. I'll see you on Wednesday, man. Liquid lunch, no?
Yep.
Let's go, man.
All right. Appreciate
I
y'all.
love it.
Tell her how
Ciao, man.
Bitcoin's your life.
Otra vez así. Ay, ¿quién estoy? ¿Con quién estoy? Ya solo contigo. ¿Tú estás ahorita en Portugal? ¿En dónde?
Sí. So vi var en Portugal, sí.
Ya, tú estás en Portugal.
En Portugal.
¿Cuándo
sí.
vienes?
Desculpa?
when to coming El Salvador?
Oh, not soon. Es muy trabajo aquí.
Ah, ya, ok, tú trabajas mucho.
Yeah. Tengo empresa. Empresa.
Sí, 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 una compañía, empresa.
Es una
¿De qué?
compañía. Sí.
¿De qué?
Aquí. Sí.
About.
Inmobiliaria.
Ah, so you need to visit El Salvador.
Sí, sí, sí.
Sí.
I plan 1 year, 2. We have to, you have to execute, and then you plan.
Speak English. Me understand English. My problem
No, I
is no,
understand.
pero me listen your words y me understand. Relax.
Perfect.
No, eso
I'm
no te
amazing.
sientes.
So no, it's because I have to take care of stuff here, and I can't leave. That's all.
Ah, ya, okay.
I went back home to make sure I could stay here, so now I'm here, and now I have to do stuff, a lot of stuff.
Bueno, el business de construcción, real estate here en El Salvador es súper bueno.
Yeah, I know, but I don't just do that. I do everything. But I am really interested in the Bitcoin city.
Sí. Ah, Bitcoin City es en La Libertad.
Oh, the new Bitcoin City.
Ah,
The new Bitcoin Ciudad.
sí, 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 perdón, sí, sí, sí. I am confused. Es
Of course.
Bitcoin City, acá es Bitcoin City, es en La Unión.
If I'm gonna come there, I'll get something there. Most
Sí,
probably.
en La Unión. Sí, es beautiful.
Because that's 10, 15 years, right? That's like long term. And then you just
$1 billion will make that city happen real fast.
No, no va a ser en 10 years. No, es en
I think 3, 4 years.
maybe in 2 years or el next year.
They've already broke ground.
Yeah.
They're breaking.
Start construction de Bitcoin Beach is in March. De this
Bitcoin
years.
City.
Perdón, Bitcoin City start everything in March de this year.
Why don't
No,
you guys are you guys gonna get something there?
We already got stuff here. We're already buying property here.
no, no sé. What is your Twitter para pasarte los links de news? Me see en Twitter everyday persons come on here y for residents. Muchos extranjeros. Me see everyday 10 persons están process de residents aquí en Salvador. Entonces yo también, I team saying the yo dije en long time, pero yo dije, o sea, hoy día, me read news today in the morning, no, eso no va a ser en 10 years, eso va a ser en next year o en 2 years, pero no en 10 o 5 years, no, eso es en 2 years.
Everything happens rapid out here.
Sí. Every day El Salvador change very, very fast, así, today, nothing happening y tomorrow ya es así. Te lo juro que yo me quedo sorprendida.
It's who you know, right?
Hoy día nada está pasando, pero mañana pasan 20 cosas, lo que no pasó hoy día pasa mañana, pasan 20 cosas juntas así. Es súper rápido. Y yo estaba leyendo ahorita están construyendo vías.
Can you do everything remote?
Everything remote.
Yeah. Without
So we
being
should
sick.
explain we should explain how to do it, because there's a lot of possibilities in the world. Because let's say Frosty, if it gets adopted there and it does well, then other places are going to get adopted, right?
Already, like Guatemala, freaking Costa Rica,
Sí.
Panama.
I understand that. But but you got to also think that other places in the world, right? Brazil, there's Argentina. Brazil has a deal with Portugal. Portugal still has it. I don't think they're going to change it. And then you go look at other places. Well, then you got other places in the world. I think there's was it Belgium or was it Ukraine? There's a lot of places where you could it's going to come, and they're going to have Italy also just did it. You know, Italy legalized this. Say, you know
Yeah.
what? 25% tax
Eh,
on your crypto gains.
That's
That's it.
used every day Bitcoin for everything in Honduras. Mirroring news de Honduras
I
y hay
100% agree with you.
y
I'm
Guatemala.
100%. I'm just saying that if it's starting with El Salvador, it's going everywhere in the world. So there's other possibility, and that's where I'm coming in, right? If you come to Europe, we're gonna know exactly what to do with the crypto. Because in Italy, yes, okay, you pay 25% in tax, but hey, it's legal. You know what I mean, Frosty? Like, think about it. If anyone makes crypto in Italy, okay, it's 25% tax. It's exactly like your capital gains in Canada. So what? It's not that bad. Think about it. It's not that bad. 25%. It's like you make a fucking a salary of like what, 40K, 50K. That's what you get taxed. It's not that bad
You
if you
need
think
you
about it.
visit El Salvador.
That's what crypto wants, is to be legitimized. And I agree with what Frosty's saying. It's crazy. I just think that, like, when you look at it and you're like, it's hard, man. It's
Beautiful.
hard because we
Every,
need to look at the whole world. We need to connect the whole world. We need to connect you with us. And unfortunately, I think North America is not going to be good. I don't think North America is going to adopt that shit
Or
because
even
they want to be in. I don't think so. Because the way I see the technology in Europe also, man, it's like the technology, everyone uses cash, but the technology they have to pay for shit is exactly like crypto. It's the same fucking shit. And you could use crypto the same fucking way. Why? Because I use it. I do it for the fun of it. I use my Binance card for everything. I fucking pay MBWay. I scan shit. I do this. I tap. It's all easy. You know what I mean? And if people don't, they got options. And it's wonderful to know that you have options and we have options. That's why I love it. Because it's evidence.
sorry, I traje aquí. No, you need to visit El Salvador.
I need to, eh? Not Ecuador, El Salvador.
No,
Or
El
both.
Salvador, no.
Both.
Go to El Salvador, maybe you go you to go to Ecuador, maybe te matan. Killer, un minuto.
not the rock is the dirt, Carita.
No son esas weights.
No. Otra.
¿Cuál es otra? What other?
All the dirt. Not rock. Chicas no entienden.
It's our fault.
Ugh. Fucking women.
No, but like I was saying, Frosty, is like everywhere in the world is adopting it. Just no one knows. Like Italy, accept it. Like it's okay. 25% capital gains. Fuck it. Okay, cool.
Well,
That's
nice thing
amazing.
about being legalized, and it's a legalized
They could
framework.
change that, but they could change that, right? They could always change that. It could always get changed and say, okay, now we tax it, right? But the fact that they said, okay, now I think that more places going to be able. I don't think Portugal is going to stop. So that's why I think here is good, and it's the closest place from the ocean to the other side.
No,
So
I
it's
agree.
like, come on down. I need to come there, but in your situation, if you were my age, you would have to understand that I need to maintain here first. It would be beautiful. You know what I mean?
I see all the gray hair. Yeah, I've been around a while.
Oh, your shit's set, man. I got goals, aspires. I want to be able to provide some people with some jobs and shit. Like I'm like Hexicans. I have some really good plans, and we're gonna connect because I think there's a possibility with buying, selling, renting, and upkeeping property all over the world with our connections and how we run this and how we connect people. Because if crypto is on the go, then so should the person be, right? Like I don't know. I don't see in the next 5 years someone not adopting it if they're not on the go. Like the first person, if you were to put 5 people in front of me and they all have different types of lifestyles, people on that on the go, which is most of the people, right? People on buses, trains, airplanes, people that travel, someone from Canada, US with the Nexus, all that stuff. People do that all day long. They travel all day long. In Europe, same fucking shit. In Asia, same, even fucking more. You go look at the planes in Asia on their trajectory. There's so much fucking planes. Same thing in Africa, same thing in South America. So the way I look at it is like the ease of technology is going to facilitate our growth. That's it. That's all.
Oh, totally. And it's already
100%.
happening. You know what I mean?
I don't
It's
see it
going to
changing. I don't see it changing.
It's not going to change. It's only going to become That rate of adoption is only going to come faster and faster and faster. And you can see that happening now. And people seem to think like, oh, this is 10 years out. This is 20 years out. This is 30 years out. No, no. It's going to happen faster than people think it's going to happen.
5
And it's
years.
already, right? And that's why I keep pounding my fists on the table like a freaking monkey every day. It's like, guys, you're going to miss it. You're like, get off your lazy ass and go fucking see it. You know what I mean? And that's part of like what I've been talking about. I was like, okay, maybe we can make a real easy, convenient way for people just to go on a vacation, see it from themselves. You know what I mean? So they don't have to commit to nothing. You know what I mean? They can commit to like a week. You know what I mean? And we can make that transition super easy. And then maybe once they see it and they can go see it with their own eyes, then they can start to reformulate. But I always think they're just looking at the lens through the North American lens, and they're not looking outside their little box. You know what I mean? And as soon as you start looking at one thing only one way, that's exactly when you get blindsided. You gotta keep your eyes open to what's happening around you. Be aware of your surroundings. And people aren't aware of their surroundings. And you can hear it all the time, the chirping in the spaces. Like, you guys have no clue what you're talking about. You know what I mean? None of them have left their little freaking circle of their 9-to-5 job, going to work, coming home, going wherever. You know what I mean? And if they go on vacation, they go on an all-inclusive trip to some resort or whatever, and they get boots on the ground. Like, they don't see what's actually happening. And the best things I can ever say is like Jim Rogers. You know what I mean? You want to see the way a country is? Go drive across the country on a motorcycle. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you understand the country. You know, you want to go see how the country is? Go get in a freaking driver, get in a taxi, take a freaking motorcycle, whatever you do, go across the country. Then you understand it. Get off the resort. You know what I mean? You know, I firmly believe, I agree. I freaking learned about Jim Rogers a long time ago, and I took on his advice. It's like, you want to see a country? Go fucking drive across the country. And then it's true. Then it's really true. You really see the way things are. And the narrative
100%. I agree.
correct.
100%. 100%. That's why I trust my friend so much, man. He literally, like, he drove all the way from Portugal to Estonia. Don't ask me why.
Yeah.
But he did it.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Man,
man.
learned a lot. I bet he learned lots.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. And where I am, I understand it has the best of everything, in my opinion. So it's like safe, relaxed, cheap, good food, good people around me.
But would
And
you have
it's like,
found?
as long as
You know what I mean?
without my friend, no. Without my friend,
Yeah.
no. Honestly, this is what I gotta say about that. Would I have found it? Maybe, maybe not. Would I be this comfortable with where I'm at in my life? No. Everything happens for a reason. So every failure I've been through, every success I've been through brought me to this point. And what I can tell you from the consequences that are going to occur and what the consequences that have occurred, we are definitely going to have much more bull, man. It's like, we're just like, it's like the red shirt and like Toro. The bull is coming, man. It's inevitable. Like, what the fuck? Look at the cable from the TV. You go from a fucking coax, then you go to like fucking this other type of coax with a thicker thing. Then you get into 3 wires, then you get into 6 wires, and you get into this fucking HDMI. And then the HDMI goes into different levels. Then you got the 4K, now you're getting 8K, now you got, and that happened in how long? Definitely since I can remember. So that's like 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Come on.
exponential.
So
That's
think about like the way the money works. So I remember the money worked where cash, piggy bank. Then I was like, oh, 10 years old, 15 years old, debit card. Spent all my fucking money as a kid. You know what I mean? Debit card. Oh, debit card. Debit card, credit card. Oh, and the credit card. Now I'm here. You know how much easier it is to use all the tap, all the scanning, all the stuff here? Scan a fucking barcode. I send my money there. Chill.
Yeah.
Why can't you do that with crypto? It's like the stupid ARM machines in Canada just say $14.97. Press OK. Right?
Yeah.
Here, it says $14.99. Press OK. Or it shows you a QR code.
Yeah.
And then on your app, you could just swipe up because of your phone, because it's an option. You swipe up, scan, pays.
Done. I know. It's amazing.
You could do that with your credit, with your crypto also. You open the app, pay.
Yeah.
You don't have
I
that in
love it.
Canada. But people in Canada are richer. You have
I
people
know.
who make fucking nothing,
That's the
but they
part
have
that
the
blows my
option.
mind. That's the part that blows my mind. You sit around all these people in North America and in Canada, and they're like, "We're the freaking top. We're the head of technology. We're leading and stuff. We're doing this. We're fucking." And then you get down to freaking the so-called third world countries, and I'm like, you can buy fucking coconut water on fucking Bitcoin on the Lightning Network, and it's
But you
like,
see, that's where I understand for
you're not
you. But
fucking
to me,
technically.
it's like, are you trying to say that if they're doing it, we're gonna be doing it? Is that what you're trying to say?
I have no idea. I'm just telling you what I know. You know what I mean? And then what I'm telling you is convenient as hell. Convenient as hell.
Why do you think we haven't adopted it yet? I just don't understand. Like I see, like, like in Canada,
Well, I do.
I can't
Makes
talk
perfect.
for the Americans, but like in Canada, like simple, you're able to purchase crypto. It's not real crypto. But
I
like
can tell you exactly why. I saw on
but
that
like
chart I put today.
but like
I
think
posted.
about when we were earlier. Like, wouldn't anyone would have, like, I just feel like the change of a perspective is changing. Like the change, like how we've changed crypto and how the perspectives changed, right? That's changing.
Let's
So
look. Let's look.
like
Let's
so like
let's look.
how we hate centralization, right? How we hate it. Like think about it, right? Because if you look at the last three barren bills, right? It started from complete decentralization, anonymity. Then we went from we're gonna have to give someone our IDs to get our crypto. Okay, I'm not really whatever. Then we went from we could leverage now. Oh, and you can go on chain now because it's gonna get busy. And now we're getting to the point where they tried shutting all that down. They can't. That's the last two bears where they tried shutting it, didn't work. Now the third time, I think the third time's a charm where now it's like, well, they didn't really try shutting it down. They tried, but it didn't really work as good as before. But now it's like the change of perspective. It's like, well, now if we're utilizing this, because not only does it work, not only is it safer, not only is it smarter, not only is it more advanced, well, why wouldn't the centralization adopt it? So the change of perspective, right, where we've changed and went from like, oh, we can't do this to we can. I think now it's like we need to change that perspective of that change where it's like now we can't go like that anymore and we need to accept something else. Like we need to accept the fact that all these motherfuckers need to adopt us. Because if we fight, it's going to create a war. If we go to the maximum fight, it's going to create a war. If we
War's
adopt,
normal.
yeah. But why don't
You
we change? Like I feel like society is changing. I don't know. I feel like it's going to change.
People's human characteristics and traits have been changed thousands of years, and they're not going to change now. You know what I mean? This answer to your question is as old as time. Why hasn't the rate of adoption come? Demographics, and you can see that in every single chart. Look at the rate of adoption in crypto amongst baby boomers compared to millennials and Gen Zs. The issue is that they haven't become part of a functioning part of society. They're such a small percentage, and as they age and become functioning part of society, that rate of adoption is exponential. And you can see this rate of adoption going back in the Industrial Revolution. You know what I mean? You can see it, the rate of change and everything. It's always the next generation, and until the next generation they become more of a predominant function of parts of society, that rate of adoption is changing. And that's why you see the rate of adoption in North American countries are so low, is because they have such a high percentage of baby boomers. We're almost like 47% of them are baby boomers. But if you go to countries and continents where they have a high percentage of millennial generations, then the rate of adoption, then the rate of penetration is like 1,000 times higher. Why? Well, it's simple. It's demographics, and this is as old as time. This is nothing new. But once people can get their head wrapped around their timeline, they're always like, well, how long things are going to take? How long is this going to take before it plays out? Well, the answer to that question is really freaking simple. At what point you want to know in your exponential rate of adoption is going to come? When the majority of millennials and Gen Zs are become functional parts of society. It's that simple. And you can see that on every demographic chart around the world. You can see the penetration. I literally posted a chart of it today. You know what I mean? It's clear as day.
100%.
Clear as.
But that's been happening, in my opinion. It's not something new. Like, it's been getting adopted.
It's
I
not
don't
new
know.
at all.
The last 3 years has been, all I've heard is just adoption. Yeah, some worked, some didn't. But that's just normal business, right? Not everything can work. Not everything, but yeah.
So
I
if you
just feel
wanted
like
to create a business model, you create a business model around the millennial generation. Forget about the baby boomers; they're done. Why even create a business model around them? Your whole business
Of
model
course you can.
should
No,
be
but you
around
can.
the next generation.
There's more money. There's more money from them. Yeah. If you think about long term, maybe there's more money in the millennials.
Guaranteed.
But you got to
There's way more.
position them. You got to position the millennials to be good in order for the baby boomers to allow the millennials to have all the.
Forget about the baby boomer generation.
Maybe a
Forget
lot
about
of
forget about that whole generation. They're a write-off. You know what I mean? If you want to be part of the next 100 years and set up business models, then the business model, it should be targeted around the millennials. Those are the ones that will be spending the money. Those will be the ones that supply your supply and ratios. Whatever that's where my focus is. I don't focus on the baby. I don't even having a conversation. It's a waste of my time. You might as well talk to a fucking tree.
I mean, I like the fact that they want to spend their money, man. And I'm here to take it because I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna put it properly, and I'm gonna utilize where they're coming because it's easy spent money.
But it's a ratio. You keep going back to it's a ratio. And in any business model, there's a Tim Hortons. The value of your Tim Hortons or the value of your McDonald's is directly proportional to the ratio of people that you can get through your door on a given day. The more people through your door on a given day is more money. Okay, so do you want to put yourself in a position you have way more millennials to come through your door for the next fucking 60 years? That seems a lot more profitable to me.
Yeah, but that's massive.
Huh?
That's massive, but you could adjust yourself in the meantime while it gets adopted. Because we're not just gonna jump in the pool and then we're just all wet. I don't think that's gonna happen like that. Or else it would have happened already.
Those that do are the ones that are going to be successful in the future, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Because if you look at the politicians, they're basically putting themselves in the middle of the largest wealth transfer because they're trying to absorb the money being transferred from the baby boomers to the millennials. So why is things happening the way they're happening? Why is government policy happening the way it's happening? Why are they doing the things they're doing? Well, because they're trying to insert themselves into the middle of the largest wealth transfer in the history of mankind and they're trying to take advantage of it by changing the rules and policies in order to take advantage of it and put other people at a disadvantage. But once you can see that's what's happening, then you can strategically, work around that. But first of all, you have to accept what is happening. You have to realize what's happening. You know what I mean? And not live in a fucking fishbowl and pretend like it's not happening. Well, it is happening, and you can see it. They're not even, for fuck's sakes, they're not even hiding it anymore. They're blatantly come out and tell you exactly what they're going to do, and people still don't fucking believe they're going to do it. That's the part that blows my mind. Like, they're not even hiding the secret anymore. It's like, really? And they're like, well, what's happening? I'm like, well, they're telling you what's happening. They're flat out telling you what's going to happen. Like, come on. Like, they came out like a week ago and literally on freaking line said there's going to be another pandemic in 2025. They flat out said it. They even put it in writing. It's like, what?
Oh, right after the happening. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They're gonna have to save all the electricity and reset.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're mining the Bitcoin. Oh, fuck.
So
it is what it is, man.
You got the munchies now.
I always eat. I'm not worried, man. That's one thing, man. When you learn something about me, I always eat. I love it. When I work, I don't eat.
The Italian in you.
I can't eat when I work. I never go for lunch. I don't like that shit. As soon as I eat, I don't want to work.
Yo, we got Bullish in the chat. DJ Cryptomatic. Wild SJ. Torian.
Okay.
Hex Luther. Be respectful, guys. What's up, man?
When have I never been so respectful?
I'm kidding. I finally got the baby to sleep, man. Jesus.
I wouldn't respect Frosty if he was respectful.
Hey, I have no problem with people coming in and asking real freaking questions, and they do their own homework, and they did a little bit, just a sliver of fucking research. You know what I mean? Just a sliver of research of their own. And then they come in and be like, you know what? I read this, but I don't really understand it. Can you explain it more? But when you got lazy people just coming in and giving you straight out answers for things they're too lazy to do any homework on, I don't have time for that. I'll point you in the direction where you can go read it and learn it. But you know what I mean? But then after you go read it and learn it, or try to learn it, and you still have questions, then let's answer the question.
How
But I'm
many
not
times you told that to someone?
and tell you exactly what it is you want to do and what you want to hear. You know what I mean? So you can manipulate words around. I don't have time for that crap. You know what I mean? Go do your own freaking research. People just want a freaking handout. You know? Put a little bit of freaking effort into your life. Just a freaking sliver of effort into your own life. Stop asking other people, you know, and try to cut corners. Life doesn't work that way. You literally live in the information.
People like the easy way out.
Well, that's why they are where they are, because that's all they freaking do. And do you think anybody got successful by going the easy way? No, it doesn't work. Does not work. You have to put your sweat grind. There's a ladder rung for a reason. There's called this going up the ladder for a reason. And every person's got to start on the first rung and work their way up. Every single person. And it takes time, takes effort, takes energy. You know what I mean? You want all my fucking advice for free? Then fucking pay for it.
No, people should be very appreciative. I'm not gonna lie. But this is what crypto is, though. It's the being able to share knowledge, being able to share the network, being able to share the wealth. In my opinion.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
But we're gonna adopt
people
soon,
helping
man.
people.
But it's coming, man. It's just like
there's a difference between people helping people and like people wanting something for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely, of course. Yep.
Yeah, but I've heard you, Frosty, man. You sometimes tell people, you know what? Go look at it, man. Fuck you.
Well, seriously, here's the freaking website. Go look at it. Well, I don't have time for that. Well, if you don't have time to get your ass off Twitter Spaces for 30 seconds and sit on there for 5 hours a day, don't tell me you don't have time, because I know you have time because I see you in there for 5 hours a day. How about you hit the off button and spend 1 hour of that going to the website that I gave you for free to read it? But I don't have time. I don't have time for that. Okay, whatever. Shut your Netflix off for 5 minutes and actually go.
When people tell you you're wrong. When people tell you you're wrong, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I love that. You know what I mean? And I love the guys who's like, all right, where did you come from? You don't know anything about crypto. Yeah, okay, whatever.
When you talk about your when you talk about your professional experience, and you're like, yeah, you know, this is what happens, and then someone's like, nah, and you're like, how long you been in this? 2 years.
Right?
That happened like what, 2 times?
Same fucking guy. Yeah.
Oh, it was the same guy. I don't even know anymore, man. I'm just so used to it, but I'm so happy that it's like, even though since the beginning, man, it's like, it's gonna change. We're gonna change, but as long as we make people understand the core essence of this shit, because this is like, people think this is easy as like copy paste, when in reality it's like take the scalpel and do open heart surgery on your mom right now. You got to be expert. You got to be an expert, but you could become an expert by, like you said, DYOR, do your own research, go to fucking verify the shit, go online, everything's there. Anything someone can tell you is you can find it yourself. And that's what the beauty about this is. Like in life, It's not like that. You don't know. You have to pay someone to know. Here, you don't have to pay no one to know. You got to pay someone to have, but you don't have to pay no one to know. So I don't know. I think knowledge is power. So
Knowledge is power, and power is money. And knowledge is free if you're willing to obtain it.
wow, beautiful.
It's always been like that, right?
Amen.
And that's the part I don't understand. We live in the freaking literally information age. We're bombarded with so much information. It's there. Just go start go down the rabbit holes. Start peeling back the layers of the onion. You know what I mean? Got to start somewhere. Jeez, I did it. Fuck, do you think there's anybody to come and tell me around how to freaking do a crypto miner back in the day? Jesus Christ. No, there's nobody, man. That was like freaking chaos. You know how many freaking video cards and shit I blew up freaking trying to figure this shit out the hard way? Yeah, freaking blowing up risers and fucking cords and freaking, oh my God. There was no freaking YouTube video you could go on and watch the YouTube video and have a guy walk through freaking step by step, or a forum you could go on and be like, oh my God, it was complicated as hell. Now you could fucking, there's somebody, like, you'd find somebody, a YouTube video to literally walk you through, like, do this and you do this. Like, it's like fucking easy bake oven
for everything. Bro, for everything. To fix my fucking Honda, 97 Honda. There was a guy fucking showing me how to do it.
That's what I mean.
I don't even ask people anymore. If I can't find it on YouTube or Google, and then I ask someone. But it's like everything you could find out, everything you need is there.
Oh, it's crazy.
But most of it could be gay kept, but well, that's another story.
Well, these people have to ask the right question. You know what I mean? They have to want the right, and then go specifically looking for it. Right? That's the problem. They're just asking the wrong questions. Right? If you start asking the right questions, it'll start directing you towards the right information.
Then you get the right answers.
And you start getting the right answers.
If you have the right questions, you get the right answers. That's a good point.
Right. People always have the wrong questions. They're always asking the wrong bullshit, right? They're asking bullshit questions, and they wonder why they get bullshit answers. That's why when people give me bullshit questions, I'm giving them bullshit answers. They give me an intelligent question, I'll give you an intelligent answer. If you get what you give, you know what I mean? If you put shit in, you're gonna get shit out. You know what I'm saying?
You get what you pay for.
Exactly.
That's exactly it. Yo, Romanian Dan, what do you got to say about this?
I mean, I agree with Frosty. A lot of people like hand me out, you know, people don't want to work for it. So I was reading the chat. What else was he saying? It's about the users. I already got that one.
I hope you've been.
It's about the people.
But you got like 25 fucking clips of Frosty right there. So I hope you've been writing that.
Okay. I'll look back at it probably tomorrow.
I just don't understand why people just don't listen to Frosty more. Like, I just don't. I mean, I listen to him because it's like a free.
Not flashy enough.
Him, bullish, brother, fucking crazy ass fucking free mental. Crazy.
He needs to have like 2 ladies dancing next to him. People would listen more.
Nah, they don't. That's why I take advantage, bro. No one ever listened. I never listened when I was a kid, but I found out earlier. You just gotta listen. Just listen, man.
Stand on the people. Stand on the backs of the people. Stand on the shoulders of the people that failed before you. You know what I mean?
100%.
That's the way I look at it. So
learn from the people before you.
Yeah, stand on the shoulders of the freaking failed before you. So it's like, you know, that's why I always listen to the old freaking people. I love talking to old people, man. Even freaking old people here. Like, there's people here that are like 90 years old, 97 years old, and I'll sit down and I'll listen to them for hours and hours and hours, even though they not be in the same thing. But the knowledge base, the experience they bring to the table is freaking priceless. I love sitting down talking to old people, man. There's their stories, their freaking life, what they've done, their freaking experiences, the failures they've had, and it's like, there's so much to be learned, but people don't have the time and patience. A lot of times they just coop them up and throw them in an old folks home. But the amount of knowledge that's being thrown into a freaking old folks home right now is priceless. And people seem to think people are different now. Ooh, human beings are different now. Human characteristic and psychology is different now. Nothing's changed in the thousands of years, man. Like greed, lust, envy, fucking anger, joy, love, all these things have existed before and they all exist today. People by 90% are emotional people. 90% of the population freaking run their lives on an emotional basis. That's why they get wrecked half the time. You know what I mean? Their emotions, they have no control of their emotions. They have no control. And you have no control over your emotions, you have no control over your thoughts. You know? And you wonder why they are where they are. They run their lives by fear. Oh, I can't do this. This is too hard. Well, I don't know. They're a fear of the unknown. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well then freaking surround yourself, ask questions, ask the right questions. You know what I mean? Instead of just and the younger generation, and again, it's weak times create weak men, tough times create tough men. And we were clearly in a time where we created a whole freaking society of weak persona that have never experienced anything. They seem to think chicken comes from the grocery store. Like, you know, like they're entitled to an iPhone and their Nike running shoes, and they have no appreciation for the things that they have, how they've gotten them, the people that sacrificed before them, including their lives to get to what they have. And that part really irks me a lot. You know what I mean? The amount of disrespect that comes out of the young people today regarding other people. It's just because they're a byproduct of easy times, you know, and it's a cyclical thing, and this is not the first time it has happened. We know how this plays out, because we've seen it happen thousands of times in history before. But to me, it's very frustrating, and it's you know, they want all the answers, but they don't want to do the work. They're all entitled. That's what I like about freaking poorer countries. Poorer countries don't have that. You know what I mean? They still have a level of appreciation for their elders. You know what I mean? They still have a respect generalized for people. It's a different culture. And, you know, back home, I was part of the problem, and I didn't agree with the woke comments and the woke movement and the fucking 50,000 fucking genders and all that other bullshit going on out there. And so I, you know, instead of me creating more problems and arguing.
And what's your pronouns? What's your pronouns?
It's the wokest show in crypto.
Fuck off. That's my fucking pronoun. It's so from situation. You know, you're not gonna change
It's crazy. Like I still can't believe that that's the world we live in these days, where there's pronouns and shit. Like I still haven't like realized. Like, yeah, it's crazy. It really is. That what? Like I just can't wrap my mind around.
I really want to be a unicorn though. Like I'm gonna pronoun is I'm a unicorn.
Right? I associate myself with a fucking coconut today. So today I'm a fucking coconut.
No, I think Andrew Tate said it the best then.
Oh my god.
I'm a lesbian.
Right?
I'm a woman lesbian.
Dude, this is the fucked up clown world we live in. Listen to this. This is the fucked up clown world we live in. So a guy in fucking Canada, and you know the fucking rights in Canada for guys are like gone. Okay? So the guy goes to court, he gets divorced, his wife takes his fucking kids, screws him over for fucking thousands of dollars a month to fucking take his kid. So what's the guy do? He goes, gets a fucking sex change, becomes a fucking woman, turns around, takes the bitch back to fucking court, and wins the fucking case. So now fucking women have more rights than fucking men. Gays have more rights than fucking men. And fucking LGBT fucking sex change guys has more rights than fucking women. And this is now fucking precedent in case law in fucking Canada. I was like, what the fucking kind of clown world is this fucking shit we live in? Now you gotta go get a fucking
when I worked for RBC, literally one day I worked for RBC, and just one day the top of the email, it just a computer opened and just our VP is now a woman. I was like, what?
I'm out.
Like, why did you tell us? Like, why didn't you just not tell anyone? And now everywhere, TD posters, they have gay guys on it, lesbians, just like looking at it like, isn't this an insult to them in a way? Like, I'm not saying it's not okay, but it's like making it full out there, like as if like that's the norm. And my opinion is an insult. It's like saying like, yeah, we're thinking about you.
What hole you stick it in? What does that have to do with anything with fucking finance?
It's like, what's next? The person on the wall is gonna have a chain with a choker with one of those choke balls, and be like, wow, bro.
All right, we got a comment here that says women can put women can put any man's name on the birth certificate, and that man will be legally responsible financially for that child.
That's depending
That's
on the
in the
jurisdiction.
U.S.
That's
That's
Nah, bro.
I never heard of that. That's true. That's wild. But yeah,
Oh, that girl's gonna be in a fucking ocean somewhere with fucking cement tied to her legs. I can promise you that, bro. If she didn't fires and puts me. God is.
non-financial advice.
What does your sexuality have to do with absolutely anything?
Did
in
the
life?
tranny just win Miss Universe, or is that a joke? You guys saw that on Twitter?
No,
That's okay.
the host was, wasn't it? I gotta go get
But
some
that's
pants.
okay. I think
Or
if
that
a
was
man,
the host? I
I
thought
think if
the
a
tranny
man
won.
could look better than a girl, then he should win. I don't know. Like, fuck, if he looks better than a girl, it looks better than a girl. You know what I'm
Oh,
telling
look at this guy.
It's scary, bro. Yo, but why can't they win the reward? It doesn't mean anything.
It's
bro.
Miss Universe. Miss, it's girls. Why? What's going
Well,
on?
what? The other way around, but girls want to come in the.
I saw a picture of Ecuador. They zoomed in on her like or his private region, and it had a penis. I was confused. This was on Miss Universe. I mean, that's what's going around Twitter. Yep,
Yeah, but it's okay.
it's okay. Yeah,
If
normalize it. Yeah.
I've never seen it. I probably fucking. I'm gonna be like fucking. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? But I'm just saying, like, people are that stupid. It's a vote, no? It is what it is, man. In my opinion, it is what it is. I don't think sex has anything to do with what biologically you are. I really don't. Like, I hear people fuck bananas, papayas, socks. Like, I don't know. We're gonna identify them too. Like people that masturbate. Like, I don't know.
Well, that's normalized, but
No,
this
but
is
you
a
know what I
little
mean.
too
So I
yeah.
identify as what, a masturbator, a straight man. Like, I don't understand. So like I'm a self-sexer. I don't know. Like what like it's to me it gets me really like it's insulting for them, but like they don't even realize it. But they just want to make it normal. But it's like, unfortunately, there's people that are like me, normal, I guess if that's the word, that are very mean, and then it causes this what we're at now, where we have to accept them. Where it's like, well, if you're normal,
Remember what Sean said. If he were a woman, he would marry you. So there you go. You could change.
bro. Honestly, bro, I swear to God, bro,
You
women
get
should
some
marry
good.
me, but
You
they
could
can't.
get some good cooking.
They can't because they just can't handle it, bro. They just can't handle me, bro. Too much to handle, bro. Apparently. But it is what it is. A girl should marry me, bro. Why not, bro? Why not? You name me a reason
It's
why.
Sean, not a girl, but okay.
No, but Sean is fucking smart because he understands what it means to be a man.
Yeah,
Sean's a
he's
man.
smart. Yes. Good job, Sean. You're smart.
Every good fucking intelligent man understands what it means to be a man, right? I guess it's hypothetical in itself, but it is. I mean rhetorical. It's rhetorical, right? Like a fucking man knows what it means to be a man. Well, it's like, bro, you can recognize another man. There's nothing wrong with that. Be like, yo, that guy has his shit together. That guy's a good guy. I want that guy to have my daughter, bro. Shit like that. Like every guy thinks it like that. Like, I'm sorry, you have to be realistic on things. Like, fucking, you mean, man? I feel like people just need to wake up. It's fucking humans are stupid. I was like a kid and I was just looking around, be like, why are humans so stupid? Why are people so stupid? But now I understand it's because they need to exist in order for us intelligent people to exist. So, or else what would be intelligent?
I'm not
Thank
gonna
you, famous.
for the fucking great flood sooner than later.
Bro, I'm sorry. It is, but people have this tendency of saying, "Oh, like even myself, I say it every day. People are so fucking stupid." But I should embrace that and be happy because it makes me smart.
Especially when I talk in the spaces.
No, you're smart. I don't know why you
Yeah.
don't fucking know.
I'm a
You have very
genius.
good experience, bro. You're not like me and Frosty. Like if at some point it's like me and Frosty have like the experience, we have the time, but it's like you're new, you have fresh legs, you have a different perspective, you have different priorities, you have different. There's gonna be different outcomes. This is different experience, bro. This is like, how does it feel to be part of the best bear market? Bear market that
good.
didn't even that barely you felt because you fucking enjoy.
I come from a world and a background where, like, if you want a better job, you better do the fucking shitty job. Like, if you're a fucking floor sweeper, that fucking floor better be the cleanest fucking floor on the fucking planet. You know what I mean? And then you'll get a fucking better job. But if you can't do the shitty job good, how the fuck do you expect to get a better job? You know what I mean? And that's the way I grew up, and that's the life that I came from. If you want a better job, even if somebody gives you the fucking shittiest job in the fucking world to do, then you just take the fucking shitty job and you be the best at the fucking shitty job. And when they realize you're the best at the shitty job, they'll give you a better job. You know what I mean? And then you freaking do the best fucking job at that, and they'll give you a better job. And that's how you go up the fucking ladder. But everybody seems to think there's no ladder rung one. They want to go from fucking
They just
below
want to do the
ground
job.
to
They
the
just wanna
top of the
do
ladder, and they want to be fucking king shit of Turd Island, and they don't know fucking anything and have no experience. It's like, well, here in the real world, that's not the way it actually works. You know,
Yeah, you gotta do
I
the
come out
best.
of college and a university, and I've got this fucking useless paper degree that I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on, and I deserve this. What experience do you have? Oh, I don't have any. Okay, then go sweep the fucking floor. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. And in order to understand how it fucking works, you should sweep the fucking floor.
You know? Oh, I've got all these book smarts. Okay, well, all the book smarts, half the books that are out there are wrong. You know what I mean? They're not a fucking accurate fucking representation of what reality is. Fucking, it's like the new accounting rules that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like, if accountants were so fucking smart, how come all accountants aren't rich? They're not. I don't know any fucking rich accountants. The majority of accountants are broke. You know what I mean? So if you're such an amazing and you know so much about tax law and you know so much about fucking numbers, then how come you aren't rich? Oh, you're not? Oh, I'm the one paying you? Why is that? You know what I mean? Like there's a common denominator here. Like, you know, oh, I'm an accountant. I know everything. Well, if you're an accountant, how come you're not rich? Huh?
No, I agree with you. 100%. That's
Right?
100%.
So don't pretend to me you know everything, because if you knew everything, you wouldn't be rich. You'd be rich. So obviously you still have things to learn. What they teach you is what they want you to learn. There's the difference between fucking reality and the way the real world works, and then the shit they fucking teach you. My first advice I give anybody that I fucking mentor, I mentor a few people, I'm like, forget everything you know, because it's all wrong. Forget it. Because that's not the way the world works. And I know people, I'm going to get a lot of flack back, and I'm going to get a fucking bunch of shit spamming my ass, blah, 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 blah. That's not true. And all these fucking woke monkeys coming out of fucking school are going to be fucking all over me like white on rice. But I don't care. It's true. Forget about, if you fucking went to school to learn fucking shit, first thing you should do is forget about that and actually learn the way the real world fucking works. Because there's the way the world fucking thinks it works, and then there's the way the world actually works. And it's completely freaking different. You know what I mean? I don't like that politicians have all these rules. Well, they do. I don't like politicians that make the law. Well, they do. I don't like the way freaking money runs the world. Well, it does. I'm sorry you don't like it, but that's reality. I'm sorry you don't want any corruption. It's corrupt as fuck. You can sit there on your freaking hope soapbox all you want and fucking wish things weren't the way they are all you want. But I can promise you this. You, my friend, are not going to change it, because there's been many people behind you trying to change the fucking system. And you know where they are? Where that fucking chick was you're talking about with fucking cement overshoes in the bottom of the ocean. How is it kind of funny if you go through history, anybody that tries to change the fucking narrative, they go disappearing? You think that's fucking by accident?
Coincidence.
That's not coincidence. You think you're going to change the way the world works even if you get a new fucking money system? Hate to break it to you, hasn't changed in fucking thousands of years, my friend, and ain't gonna change in the next fucking thousand. So you better figure out the way the world works now, regardless of your money system. If you think the world's gonna be fucking fair in the future with a new money system, you're wrong. If you think people aren't going to be corrupt in the fucking future with a new money system, you're wrong. You know what I mean? If you think there's going to be no violence in the future, you're wrong. If you think everybody's going to be equal in the future, you're wrong. That's just reality. Whether you like it or you don't, it doesn't fucking matter. Whether I like it or I don't, it does not fucking matter. It's reality. And it's not going to change. So what you should learn is the fucking game of reality. And it's a fucking harsh game. It's an ugly fucking game. And it is not nice. The world is not fucking fair. and it never will be fair, ever.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. I guess we're gonna have to wait for another day, man. Another hex payout. Another day when people transact. Anyways, I'm bullish on this shit. I think it's gonna come eventually. We're not
It's gonna come hard for sure.
We'll see. We'll see it. We'll see it happen. That's for sure. Historically, I think we're seeing a historical move now.
Oh,
We
huge,
just don't know it.
huge historical
Like
move.
Frosty's saying.
Huge historical move.
I think we got enough fucking content for Dan to chop up samurai. Let's call you Samurai Dan. Forget about the Romanian. You don't have to be so racist.
I might go by Rome now.
No. You have to go Samurai Rome then. Samurai Rome. Let's go Samurai Rome
Okay.
because you cut up that.
That's supposed to be Richard chopping up
Now,
sushi.
now you got so much Frosty, man. You're gonna put Frosty all over the fucking internet, yeah.
Well, don't do
Of
that, man.
course.
You need fucking people to follow me.
Cut off his head though, blur his face, and
There
like
you
put like a deep voice so it sounds like one of these like 60 minutes.
go.
I don't want to know these fucking people. I don't give a shit. Okay, if you don't fucking like it, it's gonna be so funny.
It's about the users.
True. There.
No, but
Why?
think about it, like the 60
What makes
seconds.
your channel successful? Number of users. How do you get paid on YouTube? Number of users. How do you get freaking on Airbnb? Number of users. You know what I mean? Facebook. Number of users. It's like it's the same shit through the Fortune 500 company. Google. Number of users. Yahoo. Number of users. It's the same. It's people. Common denominator is people.
Why did AOL suck? Number of users.
It had no users.
Exactly. But
I
that's
miss
it.
Blockbuster. All right. That's it.
Why did it suck? Number of users.
I miss the smell.
All right.
No, you Yeah, I think it's going to call it a night. For me, it's late. 2
Yeah,
hours.
thanks for jumping on, Carla, Crypto to Learn guy. Thank you.
Yeah. Tell her muchas gracias. Muchas
Bye.
gracias. Carla.
Frosty, thank you.
Any last words in Spanish? Because we're gonna chop up. We have a lot of Spanish clips too. So any last words to people in ladies, anyone in South America, anyone? You could say it right now. Let us know. What's your
Yeah.
message?
Your message. Come closer.
No, why me?
Ya terminó. Finish. Oh, no.
No, it's all you. You're front and center.
Ah, ok.
Yeah, we
Sí.
cut off all the ugly guys.
El Salvador, tienen que conocer El Salvador, vivir la experiencia del Salvador. Este país es muy bonito y the people is very, very friendly. Es muy bonito, la verdad. Tienen que venir a visitarlo, tienen que venir a explorarlo, tienen que venir a comer la comida salvadoreña, las pupusas. Tienen que venir a ver el style del Salvador.
Muy bien. Gracias.
Bye.
Buenas noches.
Bye, bye. Que tengan una buena.
Chao, chao.
Thank you.
Stay
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good night, everyone. Peace.
What are you, some sort of Mexican?